Are you recording to the device? That's where we
Yep.
have to start every episode. Okay. So all the bubbles are open, right? Baseball's on the bubble, but they're kind of like doing their own thing. But so I was just looking at the standings. The Reds won today, and the Reds have played 9 more games than the St. Louis Cardinals. Like, how is that going to work? The Cardinals have played 5 baseball games. What are they going to do?
How does that work?
Are they just going to have like infinity doubleheaders, and they're going to be like, we're playing 18 games in 9 days? I
Probably.
doubt it.
That's cool.
Yeah, maybe, but probably not. So what happens if they end the
They're gonna have
year?
to catch up.
That's what I'm saying. What happens if they end the year and they have like the best winning percentage, but they've played like 12 less games than everybody else?
I don't think it's gonna happen.
You think they'll make them
I'm
catch up?
I'm sure for any teams that are relevant in the playoff picture, they'll probably make them catch up.
I mean, and
I
it's a
assume
60,
if the
it's a
team's
60-day
eliminated either way.
season. Huh?
I assume if the team's eliminated either way, they're just not gonna care. They're gonna be like, yeah, sorry, you don't get your last 10 games.
No,
But
the
if it's a team,
Cardinals. The Marlins are actually good, and the Marlins are behind, and the Cardinals should have a shot because over half the teams are making it this year.
Yeah.
They expanded the playoffs, so like I feel like everyone's got a shot. And if 16 teams make it
do the
from each
Reds have a shot?
side, and there's only 60 games, like pretty much everyone has a shot.
Do the Reds have a shot?
Yeah, the Reds should. Yeah, they do. They should be so much better. It's so incredibly frustrating, but dude, I complained about this to Gene, and then it happened this week. They'll lose like 2-1, 0-3, 1-3, and then they'll win like 11-2. And it's like you scored enough runs to win every game this week, but you put them on one day and you go 1-4. They do that all the time. It kills me.
Yeah,
But they won again today.
that's good. Killing it, dude.
You're a Reds fan. You know.
Yeah, of course. Follow it very closely.
You dabble.
I haven't been following baseball at all, which is weird because I've been watching more baseball than I've been watching any other sport. I just haven't been keeping track of the records.
I've been watching a ton of baseball, and it's because the Pacer games, they're all played while I'm at work. And so I come home, and the Pacer games are already over. But pretty much every day I come home, there's a Reds game on in, like, the second inning, which is actually pretty sweet.
The Rays are always on here.
Yeah.
Watch a lot of Rays baseball.
They were wearing those throwback unis the other day with the actual devil ray, the manta ray on them. Those are sweet.
Those are cool. Yeah. Probably one of the reasons why I picked them as my favorite team.
In the AL East.
In the AL East. Sorry, I just specified.
Probably why I picked them as one of my 8 favorite teams.
They're probably my 8th favorite team. Probably not even. Because I feel like I like more teams in the.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what do you think about, like, the NBA bubble seems to be going off without a hitch?
Yeah, it's working. It's working way better than the MLB bubble is, for sure.
It's working, like, so well. And I think the hockey bubble's working even better. But there's 2 hockey bubbles.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that they have 2 different cities that they're playing in.
I think it's cool. I just don't know what the heck's going on up there because I literally like spent effort to try to figure out what's going on because
what'd you get?
What's happening is there's a seeding tournament. So there's like teams that were like for sure going to make the playoffs, I guess, but I don't know exactly where they do that. And there's like a round robin seeding tournament or something. And then there's also for all the other bad teams, which is like almost every other team in the league except for like 3, including the Buffalo Sabres. Yay. There's like a play-in tournament to see who then goes, like fills out the bottom seeds or something. It's actually like, I don't really get it. So I was hoping we'd take the next 40, 45 minutes and you could explain it to me.
I don't know what's going on, so we're going to skip that segment, luckily.
We will give a shout out to the Coyotes.
No, they beat my Preds, which is the irony of that, right? They probably did it on purpose.
You kind of deserve it. Because you know why? It's because the Coyotes, they've been wearing their throwback jerseys.
Yeah, and I have one of those. I have one
And
of the throwback. My Coyotes hat is a throwback Coyotes hat. It's super cool.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm a Coyotes fan now. There, see,
Wow, it's
I
easy.
did. I'm a winner.
Yay! I should do
Yeah, so
that
I
with
think,
all my teams because they're all terrible.
yeah, the NBA bubble is actually awesome. I love what
Dude,
they're doing. I think
I
they're
would
nailing
love
it.
it there. Wouldn't you love it there?
Yeah, it's like summer camp with the bros. All you do is like play video games and basketball. You go to basketball games every day if you want to. They have shuttles that take you everywhere.
Yep.
Like I assume, like they complain about the food at first, but I doubt it's that bad.
No. Yeah, no way.
There's no way, you know.
It's just like Summer Brocation 2015. You were part of that on the submarine. It's probably just like a little better, but it's
Yeah,
just like that. And that was great. So,
yeah, it's probably the same thing, honestly.
yeah, the food's probably just as top notch. And,
I
you know,
mean, you think they're high rollers?
they're probably close to what we got because we were absolutely high rollers. Some of them, maybe. Did you see that? There was a story that CJ McCollum, I think it was, has 84 bottles of wine in his room, in his hotel room, and he's trying to make his hotel room like a wine cellar. So at any point he's in the room, it's 60 degrees, and anytime he's out of the room, he keeps it at like 54 degrees, and he has like cases of wine in the box, so they're still out of the sunlight.
Well, it's
It's
his
like,
own
dude, that's
label.
a lot. Is it?
Yeah, he started his own label. They actually interviewed him on Part of My Take, and it's his own label, and he got all those crates of wine shipped to his room because it's his, and like his wine isn't dropping until I think November or something. I think he said, and until then he's having all of his NBA friends taste it. So he got
Oh,
like a crate of wine shipped to the hotel,
you got like a pallet of wine.
pretty much.
I didn't know that. Dude, I'll
Yeah,
buy an athlete's alcohol. You know that.
yeah.
I would tell you the name of the Irish whiskey of the famous UFC fighter that I like to drink, but you yell at me for giving a free commercial, so I will not.
You already did it. Yeah.
No, I
See
didn't.
episode 1.
Oh yeah, I thought didn't you edit that out though? I like got up to get it and I made it a thing.
Oh, I think you still talk about it.
Dude,
I don't know.
I'm looking at this wine right now.
Is it cool? I pick wines 100% based on how the label looks. So will it catch my eye?
Let me say this. I bet you there's at least a fraction of a percent that's price tag. That label's so cool. It's $150. That label's less cool than it used to be.
That's true. Yeah, it's about
So
50% label, 50% cost when I buy a
yeah,
bottle of wine from
yeah.
from the grocery store.
Let's be honest. I do that with like pretty much all alcohol because I don't know anything,
That's true.
and I like all beer. So like,
You
I'm
like
not gonna. There's no
ice
like
houses?
beer genre that I don't like. You know what I mean?
You like ice houses?
Dude, I love Ice House.
You pound some ice house.
Yeah, I love Ice House. Ice House. I love malt liquor in the 40s, dude. It's all.
What we should do is we should have an episode where we redo our ice house night. We'll do a virtual ice house night and just pound ice houses virtually.
We
That
should
was fun.
pound ice houses before, and then continue pounding ice houses during, and then not upload it so we can remove all the offensive stuff that we said while we were hammering. And then we'll upload like 12 minutes of content, and it'll be a really good episode.
That should be the one where we invite Etienne.
Yeah.
We'll tell
Yeah.
Etienne to get a tall boy of ice house, and the
And
three
then
of us will just
we'll get some
record.
Grolsch, so that way we finish it
Oh,
up classy.
I don't think we'd be able to figure out how to open that bottle if we drink ice house before.
Dude, I don't think I've ever seen Grolsch again in my entire life, except that one night we drank it. So I don't know that
Sweet.
it actually exists anywhere else except whatever gas station that was. I have no idea.
What country was it from?
Wisconsin.
You're right.
So, yeah. But yeah, the bubble looks sweet. I would get they got the barber shop going and
Yeah.
just looks fun.
Yeah. Dude, all right. You need to talk about this. You need to let this out. What's up with your LeBron hate? What's going on there?
Oh gosh. Okay, so we recorded enough for a whole podcast episode earlier in Snapchat video, so we can get back into it. We should have just saved it. Okay, this is what I don't like, dude. I don't like when. Okay, let me put it this way. When I think of like the top dominant athletes in a sport, as I've grown up and watched them, I've always like admired and respected them, right? Like I obviously don't like Tom Brady, right? But like Tom Brady's awesome, right? Like I love how Tom Brady is. I love how Kobe Bryant was, even though I'm not a Kobe Bryant fan and I'm not a Lakers fan. Like everyone, you have to love Kobe Bryant because of like the way he was, the way Tiger Woods was, the way like Tiger Woods approached golf of all things, right? So like these greats and just the way they go about it. And LeBron is like better than all of them, just like talent wise. He's just like he's like physically speaking, like it's not even close. Like we're not gonna have the Michael Jordan freaking LeBron James debate right now, but like if they played 1-on-1, LeBron James would run him over and he would dunk every time. Like he's just like this unbelievable, and he could have played 4 different sports, right? He's just like the ultimate freak athlete, but he's just like so unbelievably unlikable because of just how he goes about playing the game and how he goes about his off-court deal and the way he represents himself. And it's just so whiny
You
and
think what he does
unlikable.
off court is unlikable? He started a school for poor people.
I don't mean his like where he's spending his money. I mean the way he presents himself in interviews and passively aggressively complaining about things during interviews and practice interviews. I'm not talking about like his actual personal life. I'm still talking about in the realm of basketball, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's just like he's just so unbelievably unlikable. And when I've watched him, I mean, obviously like he destroyed the Pacers on multiple teams for like the better part of a decade. So that was tough to watch. But like I said, like I've also watched Tom Brady do that to teams I like too, and I don't feel that way about him. But to watch the guy, you can make your argument because I think you have a valid argument about how he does deserve calls. But like because he thinks he deserves calls when he just like makes a bad shot or makes a bad decision, he just can't like own it and be like, oh, I'm the greatest athlete in the world, but I'll also miss a shot now. He has to like not hustle back on defense, lay on the ground, make a bunch of like, oh, look at me faces, and like complain to the ref. And it's like, dude, no one touched you. Like, just grind it out, man. He has like no. I said it earlier, dude. If he has like no Kobe in him, if he had like an ounce of Kobe Bryant in him, dude, it would just. It's just a shame. That's why I don't like LeBron. I obviously respect him as a basketball player, like talent-wise, but I find him so incredibly unlikable, and I root for him to fail.
I don't know. It's hard.
I'm not trying to be bitter sports guy either. Like honestly, I don't know.
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of Pacer in there
I'm sure
being
there is.
sad because
I said I'm
he
trying.
just dominates the Pacers whenever he gets the chance. But here's the thing: as far as flopping, that's the way the NBA is right now. It's dumb not to flop. It's dumb. It's dumb not to flop.
It's not okay. You said it earlier. You can bring it up again. Sorry, I should have given you time to talk, but I'm going again.
No, keep going.
Flopping is not cool. If you're saying drawing attention to contact and drawing attention to the foul and selling a foul That's different to me than flopping. Like, if you're flopping, you're literally like, you're weak and you're a liar. I
But
brought
it's
it up
part of the
before.
game. I'm not
It's
saying it's the most
Dude, it
sportsmanlike
is
thing you
part of
can
the
do,
game, but
but
like
it's
not.
part
It's
of the
not like
game.
everyone plays that way. Kawhi doesn't fake get hit in the Kawhi doesn't fake take an elbow to the face that missed him by 14 inches and then throw his head back and hold his mouth like he got his teeth knocked out like Dwayne Wade, right? Like it.
But
Like
most players
sure,
do.
it's part of the game.
Yeah,
Wow,
you're gonna
but
find players who don't, but
dude, I don't
it's
have to.
rare.
Okay, but like even if most players do, I
Sure, if
find
you
that something that's not respectable. So like
sure
if
if you
most
want to
players do
only
it and
respect.
he's doing, that's not true, dude. People hate flopping. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying if you want to only respect 3 players in the NBA, fine. Respect Kawhi and the other 2
It's
players
not
that
like
don't flop. But everyone flops, and it's smart. It's the way you like. It's like okay. Remember when Suarez blocked the goal, like the for sure goal with his hand,
I remember.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the guy missed the PK.
right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah,
But
I
that
don't
was one of the
respect that guy,
smart.
dude. He bites people. He's
That
weird.
was
I
one of
don't.
the. That was one of the smartest plays in soccer of all time. It's like if this is for sure going in, and he might not make the penalty. Why would I let the for sure thing happen when I can just? It's just like, why would you not try to get the foul? Why would you not take the 3 points?
I don't even think that's the same because that's like, oh, I got beat on. I'm getting beat deep. I'm just gonna haul this guy down and take the pass interference. That's different than like I'm going to literally fake act like this guy did something to me. It's just different, dude. And that's what he does. And it's not respectable. I don't know why you're so on board with it.
I'm not a big LeBron fan.
Dude, Kobe didn't do that.
No, Kobe was a different type of player, though. I
That's what
agree
I'm
with you.
saying.
If LeBron had an ounce of Kobe, as you say, he'd be completely dominant. But LeBron's a different type of player. LeBron distributes the ball. LeBron is I don't know, he gets his teammates involved. That's the type of player he is.
Dude, it's not as ubiquitous as you're making it either.
What do you mean?
Flopping. It's not as part of Star's game as you're acting like.
I mean, all the big stars do it.
No, they don't. Giannis doesn't flop.
He does. I bet you he doesn't like, he's not as obvious and he's not as scrutinized as LeBron James is and James Harden is. But like, they both flop. You have Russell Westbrook. He's a tough guy. He flops. You know, Steph Curry flops like crazy. Like, that's what they do. Like, that's how you get your foul calls.
Dude,
And
okay. Here's another thing though. Okay, listen. Okay. I'll make a different argument.
no, before you say that, if you don't sell your calls, right? Like, if you don't do that pretty much every time, they're not gonna believe when you sell your calls.
Okay, let me go down this route. Let me try to sell you this in a different way. Let's just say flopping's part of the game. You're right. All the stars do it. Okay, so LeBron drives the lane. He takes an off balance running layup, bad shot, and he gets very, very minimal contact, and he flops and he falls down and he tries to draw the call. Okay, he doesn't get the whistle. He did the flop. It didn't work. Like, hustle back on defense. Stop laying on the ground. Stop going like this. Right? Stop going. Even you flopped. Okay, it didn't work. So during the next time out, you're gonna go to the ref. You're gonna chew his ear off. It's like why can't? Okay, can we agree that like it's part of the game? You should flop. You should get the call. But like, can you move on and not like double down on your like fakeness? How about that?
I think a player with the respect of LeBron definitely has the right to go up to the ref and say, "Hey, look for this." Just like people do that in football. Like, "Hey, look, this guy's holding me. Like, watch out for this." You can
That's
do
not the
that.
same
You can go
thing. That's
tell
not
the
the same
ref.
thing.
You can go tell the ref, "Hey, this guy's bumping me every time I drive. You know, call it. This guy's grabbing my jersey every time I drive. Can you call it?"
Yeah, but that'd be like it's like him saying it when it's not happening and him lying.
But it happens almost every time LeBron drives. He gets fouled.
Yeah, but he doesn't when it doesn't happen too.
Yeah, because you might as well. That's what I'm
I don't
saying.
know.
That's what I've been saying.
I don't know. I'm a little
I don't
disappointed.
like it. I don't like flopping, but I
Well, I
think
don't know
it's
why you're
part of the game
defending it
now.
so damn hard.
I'm defending the idea that it's part of the game now. It's part of the NBA. It's part of NBA basketball.
Well, why can't you just be like it's part of the game and we both agree that it sucks and we don't like it?
It sucks. I don't like it. That's wrong. Yeah, I don't like it.
It
But it is
sucks. It
part of
doesn't
the
like
game.
it, and because LeBron does it so much, I like him less.
I've never been a big LeBron guy either way. I don't like that about LeBron. I wish LeBron would go and be. He's a linebacker with, the explosiveness of. He plays a one pretty much whenever he wants. He's pretty much a four playing a one.
Yeah.
And it's insane. I agree with you. He's one of the most athletic players of all time. He's probably the most athletic basketball player of
So
all
my whole
time.
argument was like he's not very likable, and you're not letting me have it.
My argument was that flopping is part of the game. That's what you were arguing against me.
Yeah, but you were like, you need to air out your LeBron hate because you're just a LeBron hater. It's like,
But
well,
you
that's
are. I mean, I don't like LeBron, but I'm not a LeBron hater at the same magnitude that you are.
well, I think you should be.
Well, I'm not going to.
I think you should also hate Kyle Lowry. I've addressed that in a previous episode.
Kyle Lowry's cool. So was LeBron.
All right, anyway, there you go. That's why.
If LeBron didn't play for the Lakers, I'd probably hate him a little more.
Yeah, I was actually trying to think today if I hated the Lakers, and I actually don't think I do.
Okay.
I'll cheer against them because they claim a bunch of fake NBA championships and no one else is allowed to do that. And I don't know why no one else says anything. That alone, they deserve to get cheered against. But yeah, I don't really hate the Lakers.
You shouldn't hate the Lakers. They're awesome.
Well, the Clippers are probably going to win this year.
I don't know. I think Dame's getting in Paul George's head right now.
Yeah, you should talk about that. I think you're right. You can get in his head.
All right. So did you watch any of the basketball today?
I only watched the
I didn't watch
Pacers
that
game, but when I started getting texts about what was going on with PG, I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dame missed. Was it 2 free throws in a row that would have pretty much sealed the game?
Yeah.
Rough. Bad luck. And I assume there was a lot of chirping going on from the very quiet. I think they're playing like in a conference room at some hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, the wall's like right here. Yeah, dude, Patrick Beverly was like screaming at him from the bench because he's so crazy.
So this is weird, but depending on who Paul George is being annoying towards, I either really like not Paul George. I'm sorry, Patrick Beverly. I either really like Pat Beverly or I really hate him.
Dude, I agree.
It
I
all
almost
depends.
was just like, I like Patrick Beverly though, but he flops, dude. He really. So I almost said it and I didn't. I didn't want to. I totally agree though. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, get him, and sometimes I'm like, dude, this guy is so annoying.
Yeah, I agree. It all depends on who he's guarding, but like I don't really like him right now because I'm a big Damian Lillard fan. He's being annoying.
Right.
When he was guarding the Warriors and stuff, I was all about him. No, but yeah, so I'm sure. I think Patrick Beverly and Paul George were chirping Dame for missing his free throws. They were saying like Dame time or whatever because he was missing his free throws. And then, honestly, I think Dame burned them up on Twitter and was like, or was it Instagram? It might have been Instagram. And he was like, well, Paul George knows what this feels like since I eliminated him last year. And he also burned up Pat Bev. And they're like, well, where are you going home this year? By the way, are they like eliminated now? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
The only playoff spot up for grabs is the West 8. Everyone else is already locked in. And
so Paul George told him, he was like, I had more success with my first team than you've ever had in Portland. And I thought that was interesting as a Pacers fan. Because I guess it's true.
Like, did he go to more like Eastern Conference Finals than they've been to Western Conference? Is that what he means?
Yeah, the
Because he,
Trailblazers have never been to the. I don't think the
yeah,
Trailblazers ever made it to the Western Conference Finals, and the Pacers went to 2 Eastern Conference Finals. So
I
I
mean,
mean, he's right,
I guess
but it's
he's
still
more
kind of like weird to
successful.
brag on. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you don't want to
I
really hang
lost.
your head on it too hard.
I lost later than you every time.
Yeah, I got beat like by LeBron at a later point. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then Paul said, "And you getting sent home this year? Respect." Emoji fist. And then Damian Lillard said, "Keep switching teams, running from the grind. You boys is chumps." And I was like, Gene sent me that, and I was like, oh. So I don't know. I love Damian Lillard though.
Me too.
He's
Yeah.
like, I mean, he wants the ball in his hands, and he wants to like. Dude, the thing is, like, I was talking about Gene. I've been telling Gene this all on and off all year. Like, I don't know why Portland isn't good. Like on paper, they should be good. They should be really pretty. Like their starting five should be really good. I just don't understand. But Paul George is here's his big problem. What's Paul George's nickname?
PG.
Yeah, well, PG, but he right in the playoffs he calls himself Playoff P. It's
Oh,
just you can't do that. Ever since he did that, yeah. I feel like you win the NBA title and then you're like, I'm Playoff
I'm
P.
playoff
No one
P.
can argue with you.
That's true.
Paul George, though, even going back to his Indiana days, like people can get in his head for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's part of the
People
reason he
just
left. It's part of the
people
reason he
just
left.
psych
He
him
got
out.
into it with management and teammates, and it's just that didn't. I don't know. It's too bad. He's so good. I
Yeah.
still miss him.
I like I like the team that they had in OKC. I just feel like the chemistry was not there. Like I feel like if they all got along and were homies, that would have been an awesome team.
Dude, don't you feel like it's Russell Westbrook's fault?
You think so?
Like chemistry wise.
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
think he's just like he's so incredibly ball dominant that but he's like not and he's a scorer, but he's not a shooter that I think it's like with today's NBA, the way the game's played, it doesn't work that well. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe. If you want to talk about pure athleticism though, Russell Westbrook is one of the most athletic people in the NBA, and he's insane.
He's an absolute freak. And I
Yeah,
love
I
how
saw
like
him.
when
I
go
like
ahead.
watching him like rebound the ball. Like everyone's already running back to play defense, and he still outruns them and dunks on them before the defense even realizes he's running by them. And he
Dude,
like jumps over people, and that dude is a freak athlete.
he hustles hard too. And dude,
Yeah,
he dunks the ball. He just tries to hit the rim like as hard as he can. Like he plays so angry. I love it. I really do love it. Hey, dude, imagine if he could shoot like at all.
oh yeah, if he had a jumper like a average jumper,
Yeah.
he'd be an insane scorer.
I mean, same thing with Giannis. Imagine if Giannis ever develops a 3-point shot, dude. It's like,
He's working on it. I saw him break a couple ones today.
yeah, he's shooting more, but I don't know. You think he'll stay in Milwaukee?
He's got what 2 years left?
I
I think
think
that's
he
it.
has one.
Like it's this one and then the last one. Next year's the
I
last
think
year.
next year, yeah.
That's gotta suck, dude. Imagine like I don't know. Imagine being like one of his teammates and like the dude's still like 2 years away from like a contract year, and people already be like, I wonder where he's gonna go because he's definitely not gonna stay here.
Dude,
I don't think he'll stay.
that was
I don't.
me, and that was Paul George, dude.
Well, I don't think Giannis gonna stay unless they give him more talent around him.
Yeah,
Like,
he has. So he's under contract next year, and then he's an unrestricted free agent.
yeah,
Dude, that's the small market team. That's just like that's the way of life with the small market teams, and it sucks. It
yeah,
sucks. And then you have like your GM is like aggressive and he's trying to get better and he's trying to make trades. So he trades for Antonio Brown, and Antonio Brown's like, I'm just not gonna go to Buffalo. And you're like, well, what are we supposed to do? Like, we finally put the pieces together. Like, people aren't just gonna come here, right? So it's like, okay, we work really hard to get the pieces and then to get one of the best receivers ever, and then he's just like, no thanks. And you're like, damn it. Like,
What? Well, yeah. I mean, you got to think these guys are like, well, I'm a millionaire. I want to go party places. Like even Marshawn, I think when he played in Buffalo was like, yeah, the Applebee's there was popping. I think he said something along the lines of that.
I was just gonna bring up Marshawn because I saw an interview with him years later, and he's like, I didn't know anything about Buffalo, and he was like, they told me it was in New York, so he thought he was going to New York City. He was like, they play in New York, so let's go. That sounds fine. And then he showed up, and he's like, where am I?
he's like, I think, excuse me, sir, to the pilot. Excuse me, sir, I think you took me to the wrong place.
I think we're like 2 hours southeast. I think we stopped prematurely.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's
he was
true.
great.
That's my argument for when people tell me that college players don't get paid, like Kentucky fans. And I'm like, what, what 17, 18-year-old do you think wants to go to the middle of nowhere, Kentucky? Like, those guys are getting money. There's no way.
They're definitely
How,
getting paid.
yeah, if I was a, like top recruit coming out of high school and I was like 18 years old and they're like, you go play wherever you want. And like USC and UCLA are on the table, Miami's on the table. And they're like, but come play at Kansas.
Right? Yeah, well, what excuse does Kansas have for landing like 5-star recruits year after year? Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't make any
Lawrence,
sense.
Kansas.
It doesn't make any sense. That's why I'm like, there's no way. Like, can we just admit that like at least these people who are like have nothing else to give, they're definitely like giving them something. Crab
You're
legs.
definitely right. And there's all those stories of like not privileged high school kids that by their junior year of running back at Alabama, they're driving like a Rolls Royce or something, yeah. And you're like, you've been working that part-time desk job really hard, dude.
your part-time job at the admin office.
Yeah, at the rec center, handing folding towels is really paying off.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you heard what's going on with the Pac-12 players, the football players who are like, we're not playing until you meet our demands?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I brought that up with Jamie too, and it's just like it's gonna be a complete disaster.
For who?
Everyone involved, because here's the problem. So part of the demands made sense, right? They were like, we want protected scholarships if we're not going to play this year and stuff like that.
We
sure.
Want medical care.
We want like basic human needs. Like, I'll allow it, okay? But they were talking about like revenue sharing and like actually getting paid. And that is where everything falls apart, and it's terrible because it's not possible unless you get rid of Title IX, and you obviously can't. Title IX there's a lot of stuff in Title IX, but part of it is like you have to have like equal opportunity for women and men athletics in college, and it's like if you can't be like, okay, everyone gets paid, because the only two sports are profitable, men and women. There's only two sports that make money at any college, and it's the football program and the basketball program. And so it doesn't matter if it's the guy on the swim team or the female tennis player or the rowing team. Like, everyone's getting paid now. And the fifth in line rower at UCLA is getting paid the same as the starting quarterback at Clemson. Because it's like, that's how it works. Because it's like, we're all amateur athletes and we're all getting paid X amount per time or whatever. And it's like, everything comes crashing down.
Well, I don't know. I think calling. So I think that's where you have to be able to. They have to figure out a way to differentiate that.
Exactly. But that is
agree,
like,
that's hard.
That is like, I would say it's so hard that it will be impossible.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, I'm not smart enough to be the one that figures it out if there is a solution. But I don't think you can be like, hey, these guys are amateurs talking about, like Clemson's football team. Like, come on, like these guys, the amount of money they're making. Not only that, but Pac-12 players are also being like, hey, maybe pay the management, the coaches a little bit less, to maybe like help us out. And like the coaches are making an insane amount of money. Like,
Oh yeah. In like most states, the highest paid public employee is the head football coach.
yeah,
Because
it
like
is in
the governor's
Alabama.
not making $1 million, $2 million a year. The
Yeah,
president of the United States makes $450,000 a year. So like, Coach Craig Bull of Wyoming, he's the highest paid public employee in Wyoming. He makes $800,000 a year, so he makes twice as much as the president. It's like, I mean, I get it. No, there's valid reasons, but like you said, the key word is like you'd have to be able to differentiate. You'd have to be able to go to like the freaking lacrosse team and be like, listen, guys, just let the quarterback at Alabama make money because like, just let him do
well,
it.
not only that, you'd have to be able to be like, hey, you know, you have to go talk to like the third string, left tackle and be like, hey, the quarterback is selling number, 14 jerseys like crazy. Like he's gonna get made more than you because no one knows who you are, no
Exactly.
one cares about you. So it's not even like different sports. You have to be able to tell like, and that's where it'd be more like professional, where you're like, hey, this guy's gonna get paid more than you, and like student athletes gonna be like, no, that's BS, and that's where it's gonna get difficult, I think.
Well, it's also tough too because you're gonna be like, hey, listen, Alabama, Birmingham, um, you guys are making like you're barely gonna get paid. Like you'll have enough for like fast food money, but Alabama, you have enough to buy a house by the time you leave. So it's like, so programs where you can't make money now are just gonna like, it's just like
Yeah,
there's
and
gonna
that's
be
gonna be
like
another thing.
there's gonna be like like two powerhouse schools in each Power Five conference that make all the money because that's where you can go to the top. Like I'm gonna make money in college, and it's just like, okay, well, goodbye having good players ever, Syracuse.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, like also it's gonna be really bad for recruiting for any school that doesn't make a lot of money. Like
Exactly. Like I don't think it's possible.
I agree. I don't think it's possible, but I'm also like I think players should get paid, and
Dude,
I don't
totally
know
agree.
how. I don't
I
know how.
totally agree. I
It's
agree.
horrible.
Like,
It
yeah,
sucks.
I don't even know what else to say about it.
Yeah. I hope someone smarter than me figures it out.
And it's like, it's also like, if there's lots of people who are willing to play college football for the dream and experience of playing college football who don't want a dime.
Yeah.
Like, this is a dumb example. I shouldn't even use myself because, okay, so well, I would play college football, right? So
I would play college football.
if I was on campus freshman year at the University of Wyoming and they were like, the entire team has unionized and decided to sit out the season if they didn't get paid. So we have open tryouts tomorrow. I would be like, getting my cleats ready, dude. Like, let's do this. I will sacrifice my health to just do this. Like, so it's not even like, oh, we'll go break the union and find scabs to replace you guys. It's like there's just plenty of people. We're talking like the top percent of the top percent of schools. And it's like that would be able to like make money legitimately. And it's just like, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. It'd be probably the top half of the power conferences, and that's about it.
Right. And so I just don't know. I don't know. But the thing is it's like if there's any time that stuff's gonna happen, it's like now.
Yeah, well, that's another point. Like, as a Pac-12 player, being like, hey, let's make demands and tell them to pay us. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to be like, we're not paying you. And then you're exactly what you started anyway. So you might as well try something.
Right.
But I mean, some of the demands are like, healthcare, like we already said, but like, race equality, which I mean, I think those are reasonable.
Yeah.
The only kink is gonna be figuring out who to pay and how to pay them.
Yeah. Also, just off that topic, but on college football, like, how is it going to work at all if every conference, every major, so the MAC, the Mid American Conference, just canceled football. So,
No
but the
action.
conferences that haven't for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, have announced only like 10 game schedules within conference only.
So I'm gonna
So is it
correct
going to be
you.
like
Maction
1924, where at the end of
is
the year they just
postponed.
like, huh?
I'm gonna correct you. Maction is postponed, not canceled. So
You're right. I
yeah.
shouldn't.
So
There's still hope.
spring Maction, football all year. That sounds fun.
I don't think that'll happen.
What do you mean? What
I
else is
don't
gonna
think they'll
happen?
play football in the spring. I don't see that happening. There's no way.
I mean, it would ruin their chances at a national championship. But you're right. Let's talk about how it's gonna happen. I think
So
they'll
back in the
probably
day, the national champion was just like
whoever
there'd
that
be
was
like
number
three
one.
claimed national champions because it's like the New York City Sports Club calls Notre Dame the national champion, and then they'll be like, well, this newspaper called USC the national champion, so they'll be like, yeah, you all won
Yeah,
championships. I think it's just gonna be like that again.
it'll probably be like the coaches poll has one national championship, the AP has another one, and they just choose. And then like the playoff committee just picks one too.
Oh
Boom.
yeah, the committee. I don't know. That's gonna be real popular. That's gonna be real
You,
popular.
was it UCF? They're just gonna call themselves championship either way, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, dude, they have one national championship. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, sure. I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Whatever. Sure. Doesn't hurt me.
Yeah, I don't know. So officially, it's just gonna be conference play, and that's it. Like, there's gonna be no
So
playoff
not
or
for every
anything.
conference. The Mountain West is playing 2 out of conference games, and then they're playing like an 8-game conference schedule. But the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC,
The Power Five,
I don't know about the Big 12, but
the
yeah,
Pac-12
the
is
Power Five,
conference only.
they're doing, yeah, the Pac-12, they're doing 10-game schedules of only conference.
Okay, but there's no postseason. Bowl season's
I haven't
done.
heard any plans in any way of even conference postseason. Dude, this probably isn't right. There's now a good time to bring up like the obvious way that in a normal year the college football playoff should work.
Let's do it. Here's the thing, and I think I'm on the same page as you. Conference champions. Is that good? Right? Is that a good start?
Yeah,
The
but let me say something
eight
else about that.
8-man playoff, 18 playoff.
Yeah, 18 playoff. But let me look. So I have a couple thoughts. Okay, so they were like, but a couple years ago, the Big 12 didn't have a championship, and so it's like they don't have a championship game. So conference champion, who's going to be the record? I would be like, listen, you're the conference. You send me a champion. Like, I don't care if you freaking play cards. Like,
Gladiators.
it is, yeah. You tell me by this day on the calendar who your champion is. I would recommend having a conference championship game because it's obvious and a great idea. But like,
But
I
if
don't
you want
care.
to have a race, have a
Yeah,
race.
if you want to get your fastest guys, and you all have a 100-meter dash, you send me your champion. Period. That's 5. Okay. So that would eliminate all that. That if you remember, it was like TCU and like Baylor or something, and they're both undefeated, and they didn't have a championship game. So it's like who they're going to send, and they actually didn't get into the college football playoff because they all played one less game. It was like stupid. It was just like whatever. You do it whatever you want. It's your conference. You send me your champion, okay? And then real quick, 8 teams is perfect. I like just am so sick. If you mention 8 teams or you look around the internet, someone will immediately make the argument like, they're college kids. They shouldn't have to play extra games. It's like literally the basketball team plays 40 games a year and like you don't care. So like it's one extra. Just stop it. I just want to squash that argument right now in case anyone in the comments of this video is making that argument. I don't want to have it. It's one extra game. They're fine. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree. That's the only argument against it is the one extra game, and that's silly. But so, who do you think should be the other three? I think it should be at least for sure someone. Whoa, one person from not a Power Five conference.
I totally agree.
Yeah, one team to just get blown out, which is sad, but it's gonna happen.
But every now and then they won't.
I guess.
Every now and then Boise State will beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. It's like super exciting.
Yeah. Right. And then the last two.
Real quick, I think that the playoff committee should pick these three teams, so that way they're not just like dissolved, and they should pick the highest ranked non-Power 5 school.
Yeah, it's one of them. Which should probably be Notre Dame.
Entrant number 6.
Yeah. So I guess Notre Dame. Does that count?
Yeah, so Notre Dame. As long as they have 6 wins. As long as they're 6-6, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be 5 Power 5 conference, Notre Dame, and then 2 other schools chosen by the committee.
Yep. And the 2 other schools should just be at-large bids of anybody. So that way when Auburn wins the SEC and Alabama has 1 loss, it's like they're obviously in. Just send them both.
UCF gets in because they're undefeated.
If LSU it also has 1 loss, it's like, whatever, put them in.
Which is probably going to be the case. I assume, like, the SEC is going to have 3 bids most of the time.
Dude,
which is fine. If they're the best teams, they're the best teams.
We can
be Ohio State.
I think that's actually a deeper discussion. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about the SEC is just the best.
I don't think they are. But I think the committee thinks they are. And I think college football as a whole thinks they are.
Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's a lot closer than people like to act like.
Ooh, Giannis. Giannis is insane. Okay.
But to me, I feel so strongly that is, like, the obvious way it should be done that it blows my mind it's not already happening. Like, I don't feel like we're on to something. Like, we're on to, like, oh, we're figuring out how we do it. It's just like, no, like it's so obvious that's how it should be done. Because it sucks, dude. Like, imagine going to Boise State or Buffalo or Tulsa and being like, you can go undefeated for 4 years in college. You can go 14-0 4 years in a row, and you'll never sniff the college football playoff. Like, it sucks that there's not, like, a chance.
Yeah, but at the same time, whenever they do let a team like that sneak in, they'll go and they'll just play a powerhouse and just get smoked. And I don't know if that's better or worse, honestly.
It is better. It's better. It's better, dude. Better. Yeah, because it's like it's what makes March Madness so perfect. March Madness, college basketball isn't that popular in America, really, but it's the March Madness college basketball tournament is like the perfect sporting event. And if you took out the 16 seeds, it would suck.
But in basketball, like, shots can go in. You know, like when Buffalo beat Arizona, they didn't miss a 3 that game. That was insane. And Arizona was like the best team in the Pac-12. They were awesome that year. And Buffalo just didn't miss a 3 and knocked them out. That doesn't happen in football. In football, Alabama's going to show up and then be playing against, Toledo. And, it's going to be like, all right, well, we're going to give the ball to our running back, and our 6,000 pounds of offensive line collectively is just going to power through everything you have. And there's like just the recruiting is so insane, like the gap.
I hear you. I obviously agree with you, but sometimes Toledo wins. Sometimes. And it's just like, it's still worth it to me. Like, it's still just like, it's the right thing to do.
Is the story awesome? Yes. I still remember Appalachian State beating Michigan. Like, that's awesome. I remember, like, the field goal. I remember everything. Like, that was so cool. But how often is that going to happen? That's, like, the argument. Like, do I really think that they can go up against,
Listen,
LSU's or the Clemson's, the Bamas, and win? No, absolutely not.
yeah, but okay. To go back to my basketball comparison, like a 1B to 16 once ever, right? It just happened recently. It was like UMBC or whatever.
Yeah,
It's only happened once ever,
years ago.
like ever, and it's like, but I still love it. I still love that 16 seeds get in, and I think it's one spot out of 8, and it's like they're already at 4, so they're still like doing a good thing by adding other at-large bids, and I think that the non-power 5 school it's going to be an undefeated school it'll be a more respectable game more often than not.
Here's the thing, and it's gonna happen no matter how many. You could have a 50-man or 50-team playoff, and it's gonna happen. But what's gonna happen when you do that is there's going to be, the so there's gonna be the 3 SEC teams get in, everyone gets in, Clemson gets in, Ohio State gets in, and like that second or the second ACC team or that second Pac-12 team is gonna be like, it's gonna be USC is not gonna get in. They're gonna be like, hey, you're not putting USC in because you had to let Tulsa in, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be like that's gonna be the next big deal. It's gonna be like, hey, like we're USC. How are you gonna like we're obviously better than them,
No, I hear
but
you.
but we lost to Stanford, Notre Dame, and the number 1 ranked Oregon.
I would just be
It's
like,
not fair.
I'd just be like, you're not the top 7 in the country, so try again next year. Like you definitely weren't top 4, and we made it to top 7, and you weren't that either. So
Yeah, but they're like, but we're top 8, and there's 8 teams in the
I know.
playoff.
I
And it's gonna
don't.
happen if there. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen if there's 50 teams that like
It
the
still
49ers.
happens now. It still happens now. There's 4 teams in the college football playoff. It happens. It still happens every year.
Yeah, but now it's not like, hey, you're letting this D3 school in over us. That's not cool.
I don't know. I think people would be on board because people love that. People love the underdog story, and I think it would work.
I mean, I like the idea better than the system. I'm just pointing out the flaws in it. I'm pointing out what people are gonna say when it happens. I agree. This is the way it should be. It should be 5 Power 5, 1 not from Power 5, and 2 at large bids.
Totally agree. Who do we
But I'm
write to?
saying, Condoleezza Rice, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
She has the most power, I'm pretty sure,
Mm-hmm.
both in the committee and in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I don't know if this was the episode to bring all that up, but
We got there. Whoa. Did you see that Monday's Cardinals and Pirates game got canceled due to positive tests?
because of the Cardinals or because of the Pirates.
I guess we'll see.
'Cause if it was the Cardinals, they're just like done. They should just cancel them. They played 5 games.
At what point do they be like, hey, all right, we're done?
10 games behind everyone.
No, I mean for everyone, for the league.
I'd say you'd have to get to like 4 teams that are 10 games behind everyone.
Okay.
I just made that up, but that sounds right.
So all right, so the Cardinals series got suspended against Chicago this weekend because 2 Cardinals players and 1 staff member tested positive, and they're postponing the Pirates too.
Dude, the Cardinals are already 10 games behind everyone else.
Well, they're done because they have
And
9 players.
the season today is a quarter of the way done. Like it's a 25% over, and they're 10 games behind everyone else. There's no way. They should just tell them to pack their bags. But I guess
How's
they
that
just
gonna
have
work
to
though?
keep playing so that way other people don't lag behind.
Yeah, that's what they have to do. I like the Marlins. They're just like bring up every farm team player you got because we're playing. They're just playing with a bunch of no-name guys.
Do you know that they have the best record in the NL East?
That's crazy, right?
They're 7-2.
with guys from like I don't know, freaking the jumbo shrimp. They just
Yeah.
pulled them up. I
Yeah,
was
I'm
trying
just
to
looking
think
at
of.
this. So some teams have played 16 games already, and the Cardinals have played 5.
That's insane. Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work. Got a couple of triple headers ahead of them.
Do you think someone talked about it? Like, is it just that we don't know how it works, or is it like no one knows what's going to happen yet?
Do you think they expected? They had to have been like, "Hey, what if the bubble doesn't work?" You know, there had to be one guy. I was like, "Excuse me,
Yeah.
what if they get sick?"
I hate to be that guy, but
Like, have you
what
seen
if
the meme where they
we can throw
throw
it
the
out the
guy out?
window? Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Exactly.
what if they don't listen to us and get sick? What? That's pretty much happened, I assume. I don't know.
Well, that's literally what happened to the Marlins. They all went out to the clubs.
I hear they were in Atlanta, right?
Yep.
I heard they had some good food at that one. Everyone was saying like, "Hey, they probably went there for the food because the food's really good." All the other athletes said that at least.
That's where Lou Williams went. He went for
Yeah,
the
he said,
chicken wings.
the
That's it.
wings.
The best wings in east of the Mississippi, apparently.
They say.
Um, what else is going on? We really went deep in the weeds there.
Yeah, we went on a college football rant. Um,
I miss college football. It'd be like happening now,
yeah,
soon.
college Hard Knocks is starting. I'm gonna watch Hard Knocks this year.
I've only seen 2 episodes because I don't have HBO, and I don't like illegally download stuff. I just like don't know or care how to do it. I don't know.
The Rams are part of it though. I saw some of the Raiders one
Yeah,
because I wanted to see Gruden. I like Gruden. I think he's funny. So I
yeah.
saw some of that just to watch Gruden go crazy. And ooh, and I'll probably watch this one because it's the Rams.
Yeah, I
I want
watched
to
a
see a
couple episodes of the Browns one when Baker was a rookie. I'm sure I like
Baker. I think I would. I think you would too.
Dude, let me bring this up. This is a current event. Okay. Sixer star Ben Simmons will leave the bubble to undergo knee surgery. Dude,
That's
the
crazy.
Sixers are a disaster, man.
Oh, they have so much potential. That's the sad part.
It's so crazy. They played the Pacers in the first game of the bubble for the Pacers, and like I told Gene, I was like, if the Sixers were decently coached and had any discipline, they would be up like 20 points right now. Like
Yeah.
the Pacers had a lot of guys out, and like they were just infinitely more talented. Joel Embiid had 40 and 20. Okay. And it's like he's doing everything, and the Pacers won. And Miles Turner played like 5 minutes because he like immediately fouled out, and they had like no one was playing, and they still won. And it's just like you guys should be beating uh
Everybody.
Pacers who are missing 2 All Stars. Yeah, it's like
They
they
should be a
just
top
here's the thing,
three team in the East.
dude. So Brett Brown, the coach of the Sixers, the 76ers, was hired to tank because that was the process, right?
That's the
The
process.
process was like suck for 3 years, like 10 to 15 wins a year to get the first pick. And they blew some first picks. They hit on some first picks. They blew more than they hit, though. They really, ugh, I'll actually pull that up while I hear your thoughts. They hired the man to tank, okay? They hired him to suck, and they did suck. And they should have been like, thank you, Brett Brown. Here's your millions of dollars. Have a nice life now. We're going to act like a real NBA team. He's not a good coach, and they suck. They're undisciplined. They don't play. They play through Embiid because he's like really good, but they don't like play through him in like a team way, if that makes any sense. And Ben Simmons, dude, I was just watching the game against the Pacers, and I was like, why is he not just going into the paint every play? Like he'll just disappear. You'll watch the game, you won't hear his name for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that. I was gonna tell you that obviously Joel Embiid's really good, but I mean, you already said it. He's not very disciplined, and neither is the rest of the team. But Ben Simmons, first of all, he doesn't have a shot. He has no outside game. I think he's made 1 3 in his career. So
Yeah, it's like a meme.
yeah, people bet on it. People bet
Yeah.
on like how many threes he's gonna make in the season. But here's the thing: the the dude can get into the basket. The dude can get in the paint and score. He's good. He's really good, and he just doesn't. He'll just go through periods of time where he just refuses to do exactly what he's good at.
Dude,
And
he's 7 feet tall. Like, he's always a matchup problem.
yeah,
He's 7 feet tall, and he plays like a point guard.
I mean, he had the same deal at LSU.
Huh?
He had the same thing in college.
Oh, right.
Yeah, where he like just wouldn't play this. Like he was obviously he was the best player in college basketball, like when he was there. But like he, there's a reason why they didn't win anything. I don't think they made it to the tournament the year that he got drafted first, which is insane to me. Like the player that gets picked #1 overall doesn't, you know,
Yeah,
doesn't make
no,
it
I
to the
totally hear
NCAA
you. And
tournament.
now he's getting
Didn't make the tournament at all.
he's leaving the bubble. He's getting knee surgery, and it's like they're just 76ers. They're sixth, I think. They're the sixth seed, and it's just like it's like this grand experiment that took. I mean, I'm looking at this list. So Joel Embiid was drafted in 2014, third overall. So that is like the start. They tanked in 2013. In 2014, it started. This is like a 7-year process. Okay, Joel Embiid, good pick. Next, number 3 overall. Next year, number 3 overall, Jahlil Okafor. Bust. Couldn't get on the court. Gone. Okay. Next year, number 1 pick overall, Ben Simmons. We just talked about him. So it's like hit, bust, hit. Next year, number 1 overall. So that's 4 years, and they went 3-3-1-1. Okay. Markelle Fultz. I like Markelle Fultz. His career's resurging in Orlando, right? He's in Orlando.
I think so.
I hope he
I
does
think he's doing
great.
all right.
But as far as the Sixers organization is concerned, bust, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then last year, Mikal Bridges. This year, Ty Jerome, who got traded to Phoenix, I guess. So it's like they had, what is that? In 4 years, they went 3-3-1-1, and they got 2 good players who are still on the team. And it's just like it's just like it's like a 7-year thing that we've watched unfold. That like Kawhi, when he hit that shot with the Raptors, when he was on the Raptors and he hit that buzzer-beating shot, it was like the experiment ended. And it's just weird. It's weird to watch. They're just terrible. And Jahlil Okafor is like so good.
Yeah, but I mean, so was
Sorry,
Fultz.
I said Jahlil Okafor, the bust. I meant Joel Embiid, obviously.
Yeah, and Markelle Fultz is good, and I think he's doing well. You're right. He is in Orlando right now, and I'm pretty sure he's doing well. So
That's what I mean.
I hope
I don't think he's a bust, but according to for the
yeah,
organization, he was.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think that they're so talented, and the East is not very strong. I don't think the East is that competitive. I think they should be way better than they
Yeah,
are.
you're right. They totally blew it. They totally blew it.
I have one more thing I want to get your opinion on before we finish this up. So
Okay.
Darius Guice gets fired today for his, you know, domestic violence charges. So the Redskins just cut him. No investigation, no anything. There's a bloop cut. All right, and I think his agent or attorney said that they were upset with the lack of investigation that the Washington football team, uh, you know, did. They just cut him right away as soon as they found out. They cut him. Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that the Washington football team is already like under the microscope for all the sexual harassment and all that stuff going on their team, and they're like, well, we can't have another bad rep, so we're just gonna get rid of
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
They're just like,
It's
we're not
also a
dealing with it at
product.
all.
Yes, I definitely think so, but it's also a product of what happened to Ray Rice. So
Yeah,
Ray Rice was the first real, like, you are forever blacklisted out of this league. You're done. We're not investigating. Obviously, it was on camera. I'm not saying he got in. He was innocent. He got wrongly fired or anything. I'm just saying it was the first time, like, for many years in a lot of sports, you could look away at a lot of stuff. And Ray Rice was the first one where it was like, no questions asked, you're done. And it
yeah.
kind
Well,
of
he caveman dragged the girl out of a
it was
elevator
bad.
like a caveman.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
she stayed with him, and they're happily married, and she defends him, which is
yeah,
interesting.
good for them.
Yeah, good for them. I hope they're happy. But yeah, I'm not saying he shouldn't have been. I'm just saying it was like I think it was a shift in the way that these teams were handling the problems. But if you're good enough,
Ty Hill.
there's still leeway, right? So Darius Geis on the Washington football team is maybe not the same as a certain really, really, really good wide receiver on the current Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, right?
Oh, I just said his name. So was I not supposed to?
No, I don't know. I didn't hear you say it. I was trying to,
Oh,
I don't know. I
I
was trying to
snuck in
like
a Ty
allude to
Hill.
it,
Sorry.
even though everyone knows what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
So,
or maybe like one of the best running backs of all time. Plays for the Vikings. And not important.
oh, or a extremely highly touted running back first round draft pick that went to a certain city in Ohio that houses my favorite baseball team for knocking a girl out cold in a bar. Like so there's this weird thing where you can still get away with it, but I think what you're saying is definitely true. It's like super situational based. And for Washington right now, it's just like, and again, I'm not saying, well, I am pro investigation, and I am pro not,
Big
you
due
know,
process guy.
I'm a due process guy, so I don't know that it's necessarily a good thing, but I think you're totally right that it's just like it's not worth it for them. They're gonna suck this year anyway, so it's like,
Yeah,
why bother? Like, yeah,
that's true. They're like, well, we don't have a name. We
yeah, we're
suck.
nameless,
Let's just get rid of them. We got nothing to lose.
but
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I
hopefully it
think
serves as a warning to other players that like, hey, don't choke people to death.
unless you're good enough, if you're gonna choke someone, you better be good enough to
You
do it.
better be like really good. Yeah, I don't know. The
You better
NFL,
be.
the NFL gets deserved criticism, I think, in that arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, I don't think. I don't think if social media and Twitter was as big as it was, I don't think Ray Rice would have been banned forever. He might have got like a suspension and then, but if Twitter doesn't make that video absolutely viral, where people who had no idea the NFL played on Sundays, like people who just
Right,
didn't care
right.
about the league, were watching it and being like, "Holy crap, this guy is like dragging this unconscious woman away out of this elevator," you know, from the hair,
Yeah.
real caveman style. Like, then I don't think that would have been a big deal either. I think they would have been like, yeah, he did a bad thing.
And
We're gonna suspend him. But I think the fact that they had so much bad publicity that the NFL had to be like, yep, that was bad, and there's proof there, so we have to suspend him. Like, if I don't know, good
oh,
players,
that's a
if
good
there's
point.
no like solid evidence, they're not gonna get
So
blacklisted the way he did.
that brings up a point and a conspiracy theory. So, um, because like it is the way it is like that with social media and all that. Like, who knows what the Redskins know? You know what I mean? Like,
And there might be a
so
video already there, and they're like, well, we gotta get rid of him before this leaks.
exactly. And I don't know if you've heard this conspiracy theory, but does Jerry Jones Walmart parking lot ring a bell to you?
No, I don't think so.
There's this conspiracy that Des Bryant like beat someone up in a Walmart parking lot, and it was all going to come out, and it was set to come out, and it was going to be the end of him. And Jerry Jones came in and bought the video, and he like owns a copy in like a twisty vault somewhere with like multiple chunk doors. And there's like a
Retinal
VHS.
scanner.
Yeah, for some reason it's like a VHS on like a grainy black and white TV, but there's like a video somewhere of Des Bryant like beating up a woman, and he went and bought it, and so it's like I don't know, there's a lot of
I have heard a lot of also conspiracy theories of, you know, Jerry Jones just going to like Dallas PD and being like, "Hey, let my dude out, and let's just not say anything about this because it's the Cowboys," and people just be. But I mean, Dallas is known for that kind of thing, like going all the way back to like the SMU days where they were just paying people off and stuff. Like Dallas is like, if you're gonna like, money and football are like the things that talk in Dallas. Like,
yeah.
you know what I
And
mean?
they're the
Like,
things that talk to Jerry Jones.
exactly. So it's
And
like
that dude, he might have his face all this, but he's old and he wants to win a Super Bowl. I think more than any human on the planet. And
I mean, I would too.
I
If I
think,
was like,
I think
if
he
I
would
was a
do
couple
anything.
billion, yeah, if I was a couple $1 billion deep into like, I want to win the Super Bowl and I've invested billions of dollars, I'd be pretty serious about it too. I'd be like,
That's
we're
another
gonna,
thing though. Like that's another topic. Is it's like he's obviously way too hands on, and he kept Jason Garrett around for like 10 years just so that way he could have a puppet. I don't mean to like totally disrespect Jason Garrett, but it's just like there wasn't clashing personalities. There was definitely a yes sir situation going on there, and it's like Jerry Jones is so in everything. It's like he's never gonna win one because he's so involved.
I don't know, any coach can win there as long as Jerry Jones is that involved. But I don't think any coach can win there. Like, Bill Parcells is a good coach, and he had a very mediocre record with the Cowboys. You know, Wade Phillips, he did not do very good.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
doubt.
It's Jerry Jones' fault.
Yeah. Do you think Mike McCarthy's going to do well this year?
No, not at all. I think Dak Prescott's slightly above average only.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think he's a top quarterback.
absolutely not. I think he wants to get paid like a top quarterback, which is also something else. I don't really want to talk about that one.
No, I don't either. We should wrap.
All right.
We could just do we could do random thoughts on NFL teams we barely care about. We could do like an hour episode. I don't know why, but I feel like we could talk about the Cowboys for like a half hour.
Yeah, I could talk about the Cowboys for a while.
This was good.
All right, man. Yeah, that was a good talk.
All right.
Yeah, we got sports to watch this weekend. Sports to watch this week.
Oh, something that should be on your radar. 15 days from now is the Indy 500.
So late.
Yeah, well, it almost got moved to October, but I love it. It's like so important to me. I love it so much that I'd really like us all to watch it. Us all meaning Angel, but he's dead, and rest in peace. And I want all of us to watch it, and I want to do like, I don't know if we could do an Indy 500 episode. I mean, maybe we could, because we could talk about when we went together. But at least
I'll watch it. I was gonna say I'm gonna watch it this year just so we can talk about it.
For sure. All right, yeah, keep it on your radar.
All right, sounds good. See you later, man.
See you later.